Last time on the Super Let's Play Bros Sing-Along Show, we left our heroes at the, you didn't see anything. This time, Stanley Parable.
Cut the music.
Okay, here's the deal. Every year what I try to do is I try to find a rich narrative or an engaging storyline. Like last year, I found To the Moon. This is a game that I was really engaged in, a game that I talked about for weeks after I'd played it, because it was not what I had been expecting. And so, what I do is I give it to each one of my friends by the year's end, making sure that they can get a hold of this game and play it themselves. This year, it came down to the Stanley Parable, because of different things that it had in it. The big thing about it was its meta content. Now, I will say, it did have to beat the runner-up, which was Hate Plus. The biggest difference being is I wasn't sure that everyone was going to understand that as much. While this game, I just, every moment is a different thing to enjoy. Let's go forward. Now, okay, this game was originally made as a mod, and the whole point of it was to, mock existing tropes inside of games. It was much more popular than they expected, so boom! Here we are now. And we start the game up, and there's a screen in my screen! There's a screen in my screen! Sumeda! Maybe that's not exactly a game reference.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Oh, nice narration.
He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow.
We start off the game with Stanley in his cubicle, lost, because he's supposed to be getting instructions, and there's none to be found. So we get up with him, and we head out to go search for the meeting room.
Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
And here's where I have to stop for a moment and point out, even though we haven't done anything, everything from here on out is a spoiler. And normally I wouldn't tell you something is a spoiler, because it's supposed to be about the journey through the game, not just the ending that is important to you. And that's the problem.
This is all a spoiler.
Almost every part of this game is a spoiler. So if you want to enjoy this game, unsoiled, this is your only warning.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
So as we go through the offices, it seems fairly straightforward. We get some narration about what's around us, and we proceed forward until we reach this room. As you can see, a fork in the road. But the problem isn't that it's a fork, but what the narrator tells us about this fork.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Why left? I mean, why not to the right? Is there ice cream to the right? Fine, you know what? I don't want to break this story. Let's go to the left. Wait, no, I want the ice cream, damn it! Wait, no, I want the ice cream, let me back! Stupid door. I want to put my ice cream. Fine, I'll listen to you for now, game. And we're in the meeting room.
There was not a single person.
Not that much to see here. Moving on to the hallway.
Stanley decided
And there's a staircase. Stories are always about a rising tension, so let's rise through the staircase to the action.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
I was going up the stairs anyway. Stop being an ass.
He was once again stunned to discover...
And so we make it upstairs and into the boss's room. We punch in the key code and get the secret passageway to...
Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
Game? What in the name of a fucking wombat on wheat crackers do you think you're doing? Let me play, game! Let me play!
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
That's more like it. Now we continue on to the elevator, and we press the button. You know why? Because there's a red button, and it demands pushing. Seriously, what the heck is going on in this game? I may have to go back and play those other parts just to know what's going on.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
No. I'm out. I'm gone.
Although this passageway had the word Escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Your lovely voice can only carry me so far through this game, man.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley...
When you've railroaded this story so hard, I think I'm commuting in San Francisco. I am not going to believe you when you say I'm going to die. I am not going that way. Goodbye.
And willingly confront his death. As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. So he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Huh. Restart! Here we are again. Alright, let's see.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors,
not this time, asshole.
He entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
I think I am about to die.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about.
Oh, Lord, don't tell me we're about to start talking about the narrator. Seriously, does he need a story? Oh, are we going to talk about the pretty birdies outside the window?
Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me.
What?
I'm asking for her.
The fuck, narrator?
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her
and
back
then that
into your
happens.
life.
You know what? I'm done. I'm gonna sit in this room closet until the heat death of the universe.
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet.
So while we wait for that, though, the game does have its interesting bit of story elements. The story overall is kind
He's
of...
literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
Game!
He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was
Wow,
something
game.
to interact
Just let
with,
me talk.
he'd be justified in some way.
Game, I am talking! Dang it! Okay, so let's just talk about Stanley as a character. He is...
Stanley was fat and ugly and really, really stupid. He probably only got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is. That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
I was gonna say he doesn't have a lot of character development, but that works too. Let's just leave the closet of confusion and move on. Okay, now with this game, we do get a lot of little things, like poking fun at achievements, or jokes on the illusion of choice. But in the end, the story seems to be more about, making the narrator angry.
You, who thought he was so clever.
Or confused.
So now, in order to get back, he needed to go, from here, it's, oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
Or even to make him cry.
Oh no, what are you doing, Stanley? Please, I'm asking you not to take this away from me. I can't go back to what I was before.
All in all, the journey is definitely more important than the endings. Though you may get lost sometimes.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on.
Even a narrator can get lost, but you can still have fun while being lost.
Yes! We did it!
Oh, you can't make the problem worse, right?
Okay, yep, it's worse.
Well, we still have our health, right?
And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down?
This narrator's trying to make me crazy.
And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking?
Oh my God, get out of my head!
Oh, I can't believe it. How had I not noticed it sooner? You're not Stanley. You're a real person.
Okay then.
We just need to get you home as soon as possible.
Okay, so the narrator's off to go get Stanley so they can complete the story. And while the game is fun, there are some problems. There are some glitches. What? If you look at the story as a whole, there seems to be kind of a problem, and it's somewhat obvious what's causing all this. The narrator, although he does say to be causing all of this, keeps changing from...
What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble.
2.
One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time. But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one. And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself.
Let's get back to the narrator and see what he has to say about that.
Stanley? Hello? Is everything okay? Stanley, please. Is everything all right?
Never mind. Whatever. In the end, this game does make you think about things that most games or most people would never have happen to them. So that's the real jewel of what this game is. And I do hope you have a good day. There
once was a man named Stanley, who people considered so manly. But the truth must be told, he was not very old and was quite particularly gangly. What Stanley liked most was buttons. He pushed them like some kind of glutton. He did it all day in a meaningful way, but his brain had long ceased to function.
Fa la 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 la. Bam! Stupid door won't open for ice cream. Ooh, staircase. Let's ascend a staircase. Fuck, don't go through the wagon. Right, Lucian.